I hope you are all good and well and enjoying this wonderful windy weather we have today. So I don't know about you guys, but over here it's definitely what we in this house call bin bag weather. Duct tape some bin bags to your arms and see if you can take off in the wind. So feel a little bit like Dorothy going through the storms here today. So today we are talking about signs that your relationship may be over. And sometimes when we're in a toxic relationship, sometimes we need the other person to make that move, because there's less likely to be an explosion of anger or an explosion of abuse if they are making the decision rather than we are telling them that it's over. So I thought it would be interesting to go through some of the normal signs that a relationship might be over, because that might be helpful in terms of how you deal with your situation. So let's have a quick look at this. So there are some really subtle changes that can reveal, and I'm just saying can, that don't necessarily signal. So, you know, if you go through the list and think, oh, well, we've got some of those, don't automatically assume you're going to break up. Maybe have a conversation about it. It can often feel like it comes completely out of the blue, like a relationship is everything's going fine as far as you're concerned, and then suddenly out of the blue they just say, that's it, it's over, I don't want to be with you anymore, and you're like, what the hell happened? But there has been a new study that revealed that there are some really subtle signs that can reveal that a romance is doomed months before either party even realise. So subconscious signals. So it's all about the language, and small changes in our use of language can reveal that a coupling is nearing its end. So there was some research, that's my normal, haven't got my teeth in today. Researchers at the University of Texas studied more than 1 million posts by 6,800 Reddit users in the year before and the year after they shared news about their relationship breakup. And their findings were published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, and it revealed that the Reddit users' use of language began to change 3 months before their relationship ended and did not return to normal until about 6 months after. Now, isn't that interesting? And this held true whether someone was about to get dumped or the one that was doing the dumping. Even more interesting. So in general, the researchers noted that leading up to a breakup, the language used by the ill-fated lovers became more personal and informal. So in particular, the subjects started saying I and we more often. And it seems even before people are aware that the breakup is going to happen, it starts to affect their lives. There's a study author, Sarah Suraj, who is a doctoral candidate in psychology at University of Texas in Austin. And she stated that we don't really notice how many times we are using prepositions, articles, or pronouns. But these function words get altered in a way when we're going through a personal upheaval that can tell us a lot about our emotional and psychological state. And the study authors say that the use of the word I is correlated with depression and sadness, and is a key sign that someone is carrying a really heavy cognitive load. I can't even read, I can't even speak today. This is all good fun. It's just more of, you know, me being a bit dipsy. So they are thinking or working through something and are becoming more self-focused. So they're internalizing a lot more. When people are depressed, they tend to focus on themselves, and they're not able to relate to others as much as normal. So the research that was done is thought to be the first to examine of romantic relationships in this way. And there's a co-author of the study, Dr. Kate Blackburn, and she's a research fellow in psychology at the same university in Texas, Austin. And she added, what makes this project so fascinating is that for the first time, through technology, we can see the way that people experience a breakup in real time. And implications for this research are quite far-reaching. At the most basic level, it gives you, me, and everyday people insight into how loved ones may respond over time to the end of a romantic relationship. And interestingly, researchers say the language patterns uncovered in the study seemed to peak on the day of the breakup and remained up to 6 months later, even when people were discussing other topics in Reddit communities, different communities on there. And researchers believe that one thing to take away from the study is that it isn't a good idea to dwell on a breakup. So they point out that the language of some of the subjects did not return to normal a year after the relationship had ended, with some users lingering in a part of the Reddit website dedicated to discussions about failed romances. And by the continuous rehashing of their stories, it makes it harder for them to heal. So I find that really interesting, because obviously part of my work is helping people to heal and to overcome the emotional turmoil after they have come out of an abusive relationship. And an abusive relationship is obviously a lot harder. There's far more to kind of work through and to get past. But even when there's no abuse in the relationships, it still takes a lot of people up to a year still actually dwelling on that subject and continually breaking their heart over and over and over again by keep going around in circles with it. And that's the circle that we need to break, and that's the circle that we work on breaking. But couples may well have decided to call it quits over an annoyance of living together, which has been made worse during lockdown. Let's face it, we've all been in various states of lockdown at various points. We're just coming out of our third lockdown. Who knows if it's gonna come again? I don't know. It's all very crazy still. But back in December, a survey revealed some of the most common grievances for cohabiting partners. Okay, it's a fun one. Leaving clothes, bags, and shoes everywhere topped the list, together with other top 10 irritants cited as leaving the toilet seat up, not doing the washing up, leaving hair in the drain, and spending too much time on video games. And it turns out that these habits can take a devastating toll on relationships, as the study found that 56%, that's over half of people surveyed, said they had broken up after moving in together. And out of this group, 9% said they broke up after 4 to 6 months, 8% after less than 3 months, and 2% called it quits after less than 1 month of living together. How intriguing is that? So it seems that our tolerance levels for other people's quirks and habits are quite low. And it seems that although we think that we are healing by talking about our situation, unless we do it in a structured way that actually serves the purpose of moving past that issue and into the future, then that can just cause havoc in your life. So I find that really interesting to actually just look at those facts and see that they can actually predict when a couple are going to break up. Now, when you're in an abusive relationship, it's obviously a lot different to that, but it can be very handy if the other person decides to end it. You're still heartbroken, don't get me wrong, you will still break your heart over it, but because they have made the decision, it's a lot easier, because there's no massive kind of like dramatic flare up. When you are with somebody that is abusive and you are the one to make the decision to end the relationship, quite often the reaction is quite volatile, and domestic abuse charities have actually stated that that is the most dangerous point in an abusive relationship, because that's when people get hurt, that's when women get killed, that's when people get stabbed, injured. You know, that's when it goes from words to physical quite often. So if that is you, if you are in that situation and you want to get out of that relationship, then my advice to you would be, don't do it on a whim. Plan your exit, and plan a safe exit. And there's lots of people that can help you do that. I can help you do that. Domestic abuse charities can help you do that. You will need whatever support you can muster, and you will need to be very careful about who you trust. So before you do anything like that, speak to somebody that's impartial. Speak to somebody that is not connected. They're not family. They're not friends with both of you. Somebody that is impartial and is not involved with the situation whatsoever, because it will be key to keep you safe during this period of time. And once that window of volatility is gone, then that's great. Then we can relax a little bit. But during that particular period of time, that is when you need to be at your most aware and your most cautious. So sometimes, even though it's their decision, sometimes it's still an explosive, massive, big drama. And it's something that we have to work through, and something that we have to get past. And, me no less or no more than anybody else. It took me years of therapy, years of recovery, years of beating myself up over what I should and shouldn't have done, years of guilt, years of shame, years of embarrassment, years of all different kinds of, self-torture thoughts in my head. And then once I realised that actually I didn't need to carry that burden around, life got so much easier. But if you want to speak to me, then please feel free to comment or send me a message. You can look at my website, which is www.jennyrockcoaching.com, or you can contact me through my Facebook page, which is just facebook.com/Jenny Rock Coaching.